The profits are absolutely staggering what we're seeing right now. When we seize $97 million of drugs in 48 hours, that shows you how bad it is. And then on top of that, if you count how much the migrants are paying, if you're from Central America, you're paying $6,000 to get into the United States. If you're coming from China, if you're coming from countries that are not contingent to our continent, then you're paying upwards of $35,000. These cartels, the profits are staggering, and it's all based upon our policies. We are making them rich. President Biden is the best friend to these cartels.
Well, that was National Border Patrol Council President Brandon Judd on Sunday Morning Futures with me yesterday, detailing how much money these dangerous cartels are making on Joe Biden's wide-open border. My next guest is Texas Congressman August Pfluger, posting images of a recent drug bust by Texas police, saying that they confiscated fentanyl, cocaine, marijuana, and an assault-style rifle from cartel members. Joining me right now is the man himself, Texas Congressman and member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, House Homeland Security Committee, August Pfluger. Congressman, it's great to see you. Thanks very much for your leadership on this issue. You've been doing a great job, and I want to get your take on why we are not responding to this crisis at all out of the White House. And by the way, why is the Chinese Communist Party sending people in through our wide open border when they already abuse the visa process? They're abusing the visa process and getting in here and putting surveillance programs in place. Why do they need the wide open border to do it as well? They're willing to pay $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a head to get into this country through the porous border.
Well, Maria, thanks for having me. And that is scary, isn't it? You know, when you look at the drugs, as you've mentioned, and I completely agree with Brandon Judd in that last segment that you just mentioned, I talk with him regularly. It's billions of dollars to the cartels. I mean, this is a big business. The pictures that I posted last night, that was a routine traffic stop in San Antonio, Texas. And this is something that has to be understood, is that the amount of drugs is overwhelming. What it's doing to our society, to our communities, to our kids, the 100,000 plus deaths. And to your question about the Chinese Communist Party, why are they sending people through a porous border when they already abuse our visa system? It makes you wonder who is coming through. And about a year ago, the sheriff's department in a very small county, Kimball County in Texas, pulled over a vehicle on another routine traffic stop and ended up arresting several what they call high priority Chinese immigrants or Chinese citizens. And it makes you wonder how many other people are coming through, what they're up to, and what their end goal is in this country. But we know it's not good, and the Biden administration refuses to do anything to stop it.
Well, that's right. When I was with Border Patrol agents, they told me that they arrested Chinese engineers, engineers who wanted to come through the porous border. Joe Biden is enabling this. I don't know what they're doing, but they've got police stations across the world, including New York City, and we haven't done anything about that. So the Communist Party reported its first COVID death in weeks as House Republicans released a new report confirming that the virus could be tied to China's biological weapons program. I spoke with former HUD Secretary Dr. Ben Carson yesterday about the administration's response to this pandemic. Watch this.
I've noticed that our current Commander-in-Chief doesn't seem to be that anxious to point the finger at China. You have to kind of wonder what relationship is there that may have some negative impact on the citizens of our country. And it's something that's very worrisome.
Congressman, this is very worrisome. Is Joe Biden compromised with dealing with China after all the money his family has taken?
Well, it is extremely worrisome, and I think that's exactly what House Republicans want to figure out. This is important because it's our national security that's at stake. You cannot have the Commander-in-Chief, the President of the United States, under the thumb of the Chinese Communist Party. In this first report that the intelligence community, the Intelligence Committee, led by people like Brad Winstrop, have come out with, show that a lot of information was suppressed. Surprise, surprise, more suppression of information than Americans need. And when it comes to the family of the president, what their business dealings were, the American public deserves to know, because this is our leading adversary. This is our pacing threat for military technology. This is the country that is doing the most damage worldwide, and we absolutely need to know, and especially when it comes to the origins of COVID, what happened, because millions of people were affected by this. The deaths across not just our country, but across the world, the businesses that were shut down. We deserve to know. I'm glad that the committee has done this, and we're going to get to the bottom of it.
Well, I mean, look, your district in Texas includes the Permian Basin, and this is one of the most rich areas, the richest areas for the potential for America to be energy independent. And the Biden administration's actually even selling oil to China. They're planning to buy 3 million barrels of oil to replenish the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, which he has gotten to levels not seen since 1984. No price per barrel has been released. 180 million barrels were drained from the reserve this year, bringing the stockpile to the lowest level since 1984. What are your thoughts on this, Congressman? I mean, this was supposed to be an emergency stockpile.
You're absolutely right. And I do represent the Permian Basin, and I've long said it's time to put Midland over Moscow. But the president has done just the opposite. He's putting our foreign countries, partners, adversaries, in the case of Russia, over the United States. You know, let's put this in perspective. The Strategic Petroleum Reserve has over 700 million barrels that is only to be used in the case of an emergency, maybe a storm, maybe a conflict, geopolitical conflict, not a political emergency like he used. We're down to 300 and maybe 80 million barrels. In perspective, the United States uses 20 million barrels a day. That's our demand. And he's going to put 3 million barrels back? I mean, this is kind of a joke. What he needs to do is permitting reform. What he needs to do is unleash American energy so that not only do we have the ability to refill the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, but that we can bring prices down and inflation down. But they refuse to do that. They have an all-out assault on American energy, and it's continued for 2 straight years.
Yeah, and they want to do windfall taxes. They want to do new attacks on oil companies. Congressman, before you go, I'm about to speak with the chairman and CEO of Chevron, my special guest, in about 1 hour. What would you like to hear from the CEO of Chevron, given their expansive facilities in the Permian Basin?
Well, it's like any other company there. We're very proud of what they're doing with American jobs, with Texans who are producing the energy. And I would ask him what his plans are to push back on the administration on permitting, on unleashing. What does he need to actually go out there and get to the point where America can be energy dominant again, where we don't have to rely on other countries?
Yep, it's a really important question, Congressman. It's great to see you this morning. Thanks very much. Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you,
Happy holidays. Congressman August Pfluger joining us this morning in Texas. Thank you, sir.